You know, I just realized Sonic Mania Plus and Super Paper Mario have the exact same initials, just rearranged, with the M and the P swapped. That's kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure that's a weird coincidence, though. I don't know what's up with that. But this is still the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to the finale of Let's Play Sonic Mania. And in this episode, well, we're going to tackle the final boss. That's right, we are finishing the game, folks, in this very video. In fact, we're pretty close to the end of Act 2. We're over halfway done, 3/4 of the way done, actually. I'm going to show off some stuff after this, so it's not like this LP is ending just yet. In fact, I'm probably going to be showing off Encore mode, and I may do a complete playthrough of that. Especially because there are a number of differences, including unique special stages. But I digress. In other news, the Sonic movie trailer has finally been released, and yeah, it's the stuff of nightmares, folks. And I'm expecting it to be hot garbage, but weirdly enough, like, the director, he's actually gone on record as saying that they're going to change the design because people aren't happy with it. Which is, pretty shocking that that's actually their response. I mean, I'm so used to, like, many film companies just, like, doing whatever they want without regards to the fans, that, like, I just sort of thought that, well, okay, they're going to keep the design, but they're actually going to change it, which is pretty surprising, because I thought this movie was going to crash and burn. I thought it was going to be hot garbage. I mean, I guess it's just a cynicism based on Hollywood and what they keep doing and whatnot. But still, it's really weird that like, this is actually what is happening. I mean, Sega themselves have expressed doubts about the design, which, you know, you done screwed up when Sega takes notice. You know, I'm not saying that, like, the design should be, like, exactly like the games or anything like that, but, you know, it should at least be cartoony and appealing, and not, like, terrifying. Like Young Dan described it best, he has said that it's a blue, furry, Nike-wearing Richard Simmons gone Super Saiyan 3, and that's pretty fitting. I still think the film will be hot garbage, even with the redesign that they're going with. However, like, maybe it won't be quite as hot garbage as I thought. Anyway, let's actually talk about the boss fight. You see, in this boss fight where we actually face off against the Phantom Egg and the Phantom Heavies. And the Phantom Egg is, of course, Eggman's machine that he's using. And you start off with, like, Heavy Gunner, then Heavy Shinobi, and Heavy Magician, and then finally... Phantom Gunner, Phantom Shinobi, Phantom Magician, and finally, Phantom Rider, which sounds like the name of a heavy metal band. Am I just imagining that, or is that for real? In any case, this fight is actually pretty unique. and it calls back to the fights with the previous hard-boiled heavies. I'm not really sure what exactly the Phantom Heavies are, like whether they're transformed or like resurrected or clones or like something like that of the original Phantom Heavies, but nevertheless, they're still pretty neat. Actually, this fight can be exploited pretty quickly. In fact, I never get up to Phantom Rider. I often manage to beat this fight before even getting to Phantom Magician. So now it's time to finish him off. In fact, with Phantom Shinobi out of the way, that's it. We can finish off Eggman. It is actually pretty easy because I know how to exploit it. And he'll go down, pretty sure before he uses his hands to grab you, because that's how you're teleported to one of the places with the Phantom Heavies. So that's it for this fight, but we're not quite done yet. So first up, I want to show off the Phantom Heavies that we didn't get to see. So I actually went back to replay this here's Phantom Magician, and basically I decided to just re-record the fight on a separate save file, and right now we have the Phantom Rider, and this part is actually the coolest, I find, of them, and it's also pretty cool that they'd include an auto runner and whatnot. I'm actually surprised the Phantom Gunner part wasn't an auto runner, and I have 35 lives. I wasn't even trying to get any lives or get that many or whatnot. I was just trying to get through the game as quickly as possible. Yeah, I already have 30. So it's that's my base form. I'm like Goku when he turned Super Saiyan 1 into his base form. But now it's time to actually show off what comes next if you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Which of course we did. And when that happens, you get an extra boss fight in Egg Reverie Zone. And so here you actually fight against Phantom King and the Klepto Mobile, with the Klepto Mobile being Dr. Eggman's ship, his vehicle or whatever. And Phantom King is of course the other hard-boiled heavy, the last Phantom Heavy, that is. So we didn't get to fight him in the regular fight against the Phantom Egg, but we do get to fight him here in Egg Reverie Zone. And that's pretty cool, and we also get to play as Supersonic, because, of course, Supersonic is awesome, but what's interesting is that you can actually lose rings as Supersonic, so you can't get too careless or anything like that, because that can cause problems, and the things that the Phantom King shoots at you will cause you to lose rings. But only if they're shot at you first. One thing you can also do is dash forward, however that costs rings, so use that at your own risk. Well, actually you can dash in any direction to be more accurate, but Supersonic, I was just talking about Super Saiyans. So, clearly this must be a coincidence. No, actually, it's not. I planned this out. You know, my mind still has a method to its madness. Or something like that, and dang it, I'm dead again! Of course, I have to fricking die in every single video. That's actually 2 deaths so far in this one video, so I mean, I guess I won't be ending this video with 99 lives. I mean, ending this playthrough with 99 lives. But oh well. Still, I managed to get up to 99 lives. That's still pretty cool. You can use the dash to get in some quick hits if you spot an opening, but again, watch out for Phantom King, cause he's the only one who can cause you to actually lose rings. Anyway, the music to Egg Reverie Zone is actually pretty good. It's chaotic and funky, and you know, I like funky music. What can I say? I'm a huge fan of jazz. I'm not sure if you'd call this jazz, but it's still pretty funky, I find. And anyway, as for what I'm going to do after this LP is done, well, expect a few things. Of course, as I've said, I'm going to tackle the Knuckles playthrough, and okay, apparently it seems Eggman can also cause you to lose rings. I thought it was just the Phantom King. Well, still, he's less likely to cause you to lose rings, so you still want to watch out for the Phantom King. In any case, after we tackle the Knuckles video, then I'm going to either do an extra video or start on Encore mode, a playthrough of Encore mode. Of course, I'll need to practice for that, because, you know, the special stages in Encore mode, they're distinct from the main game, and they're noticeably harder. Though I have managed to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you see, I'll need to, like, get to where I can get all 7 Chaos Emeralds without taking too much time, and while I manage to get all of them in one playthrough. That's why I'm going to be needing a lot of practice. Actually, one thing that's interesting, Egg Reverie Zone is actually exclusive to Sonic, if I'm not mistaken. I think maybe Knuckles has this as well, but I'd have to go through it again. But none of the other characters have this boss fight. It's unique to Sonic, or, well, Sonic and Tails, but for story reasons, Sonic is the same thing as Sonic and Tails. So you play as Sonic alone, and you also get this boss fight. When we beat this, then we get the good ending. I'll also be showing off the bad ending in this video as well. Of course, it's hardly any different from the good ending. There's not much to show off, but still, you know, I want to be as thorough as I possibly can. So yeah, that's the good ending for Sonic and Tails. And now here are the alternate endings. First up is the bad ending, which is very similar to the good ending, except in the good ending, Sonic has a different pose. I don't know why in the good ending they didn't just, like, have Sonic turn into Super Sonic, because, like, that's what happened in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, so, like, I don't know what the deal with that is. However, it's kind of an alright ending either way. There's also an extra part where he turns into a ball. But now it's time for the ending with Tails, and of course I'm going to show off them all, cause, you know, that's just how I roll, with the exception to Knuckles, because, again, I'm confining everything about the Knuckles playthrough to a single video, which will be coming out after this one. So look forward to that, it should be exciting. And I'll also be showing off the different boss fights that Knuckles has, as well as Act 1 of Mirage Saloon Zone. You know, since, like, I'm titling these episodes Sonic, since this is, like, the Sonic playthrough, and in every one of these videos thus far, I've listed Sonic in parentheses, you know, it just doesn't feel appropriate to, like, then split off the parts with Knuckles into their own separate videos, so that, like, I cover both Sonic and Knuckles in the same video, you know, it just doesn't feel right. However, one thing that's interesting about the alternate endings is that if you beat the game as either Mighty or Ray, then instead of getting Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, you get Sonic, Mighty, and Ray. Whereas if you beat the game as Tails or Knuckles, you get Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And meanwhile, if you beat the game as Sonic, then you also get Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And I'll be showing off Mighty and Ray more later, especially when we get to Encore mode, which look forward to that. I'll be sure to get to Encore mode much quicker than before, than, like, this playthrough, because, like, I'll try to get through as many special stages as I can, and once I do, then I'll just try and get through the game as quickly as possible and won't be showing off any of the bonus stages. But that's it. That's it for the Sonic playthrough. We are completely done. And look forward to upcoming videos, because I've got a few extra videos planned. Maybe one, maybe two. You know, I haven't quite decided yet, because, like, you know, there's quite a bit of extra content, but I think I'll be able to get the extra video done in, like, one video. I don't think there's that much to show off. I'll be sure to, like, show off Mighty and Ray. However, like, as for, like, their playthroughs, like, I'm not going to be playing through the game again as Mighty or Ray. I'm just going to show off a few things about how they play and a few of their abilities, because it's not really worth it, because their playthroughs on Mania mode are identical to Sonic's playthrough, which was disappointing, I must say. And these credits, by the way, are pretty cool. It's quite long though, so I will be I'll be speeding up the credits somewhat, because you can actually hold down the button to speed through these credits, and you can also skip them entirely, which is nice. But Encore mode has some interesting features as well. With Encore mode, I'll try to show off Mighty and Ray as much as I can, because, you know, they have some interesting abilities, and I have a lot to say about Ray's abilities in particular, because they're really interesting and they can really change up the game. Some people are skilled enough to, like, absolutely break the game as Ray, and, like, manage to get through levels in ridiculously fast speeds. That should be very fun to show, but it's been a long time coming. I can't believe it's taken me this long to finish up the Sonic playthrough, but, well, here we are, it's done. So sorry for the wait. You know, I've been taking a while to get this series done, but, well, here it is. Well, okay, of course it's not, because, you know, all of the other stuff I need to cover, and I'll try to get through that much quicker than before. I'm hoping that, like, I can end up getting this entire LP done before Clement even starts his LP. But, you know, that's going to depend on when he starts his LP, of course. And, I don't know that I can easily predict that, but still, I should be making these videos a lot faster than I have been. It's just I've been really busy. But, you know, I really like this game. My final thoughts are that this game is really good. It's definitely one of the best Sonic games of all time. And I don't know that I'd call it the best Sonic game, because, you know, it feels a little too recent to fully judge that. Because, you know, like, time can help put things into perspective. Whereas, like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a game that has stood the test of time. This game hasn't really been subjected to that test just yet. So, you know, give it time and it may end up as another masterpiece, or, you know, maybe people will just lose interest and forget about this game, just like how Sonic Colors was largely forgotten. But, oh well. That's not related to the subject, but still, it's a mighty fine game. Even though there are a few missteps, I don't get why they had to include Metallic Madness Zone. I mean, sure, it's not terrible. It's not a terrible zone. I've had worse, but, you know, it's also not a zone that I'm particularly fond of. Of course, I'll take that over Shadow the Hedgehog, because Shadow the Hedgehog is hot garbage. You know, maybe I feel I should kind of remind people of that, because I don't think I've made that clear. You know, it's a little ambiguous what I think of that game. So, there's what I think about it. It's hot garbage. You know, I don't think I've said that enough. I feel I should. Y'all thought I'd forget about Shadow the Hedgehog. Of course I wouldn't. That game is terrible. And if I were to forget about it, then that would be a failure on my part. But I guess I should discuss some future projects. I guess after Sonic Mania, I'll move on. Well, either after Sonic Mania or the Revenge of Shinobi, I'll be moving on to Mega Man X. Also, here's the results screen that shows you how quickly you've gotten through each zone. So that's neat. I don't believe this was in the original version. Now it's time for the bad ending. Well, this is what happens after the credits of the bad ending. And you can see Eggman tossing the Phantom Ruby back and forth. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. This is the Mississippi King signing out, and in the next video, we'll show off the Knuckles playthrough. All of it in the next video. See y'all then.